The 2025 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix wasn't just another race under the lights of Jeddah, it was a full-blown spectacle. Starting from pole, Max Verstappen looked set to dominate, but chaos unfolded at turn 1 when he clashed with Oscar Piastri. In a move that set the tone for the drama ahead, Verstappen cut the chicane to maintain position, only to be slapped with a 5-second penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. That penalty would come back to haunt him. Piastri executed a perfectly timed undercut during the pit window, leapfrogging Verstappen and storming to his third win of the season. That victory didn't just boost McLaren's stock, it rocketed Piastri to the top of the Drivers' Championship. Verstappen, visibly agitated, settled for second, while Ferrari's Charles Leclerc completed the podium in third. But the fireworks didn't end on track. In the post-race interview with David Coulthard, Verstappen's frustration couldn't have been more clear. "I'm going to keep it quite short," he said bluntly, offering a brief nod to the fans before adding, "The rest is what it is. I'm looking forward to Miami. See you there." It was classic Max, cool, clipped, and clearly irked. And just when the paddock was buzzing over the race fallout, another plot twist dropped like a bombshell. Verstappen's rumored move to Aston Martin, fueled by Honda's 2026 engine and the lure of Adrian Newey's genius, looked all but inevitable until Ferrari crashed the party. Under the glowing floodlights of Jeddah, the Scuderia made their move, injecting fresh chaos into the Verstappen sweepstakes. What was once a straight path to Aston now feels like a crossroads. Verstappen's future is once again fueling speculation at full throttle, and Jeddah was the epicenter of the latest buzz. Red Bull, once untouchable at the top, now finds itself clinging to third, while the RB21 has looked at times like a shadow of its former dominance. Playing fourth fiddle isn't exactly what Verstappen signed up for, not when he's chasing a fifth world title. And if Red Bull's form continues to slide, don't be surprised if Max starts looking for an exit ramp, one that leads to a team with the firepower to match his ambition. Now, let's be clear, this isn't Max's first rodeo when it comes to headlines linking him to a potential move. Remember last year? Even during his monster run of 10 straight wins, there were whispers. This time, though, the flames weren't fanned by fans or media, but by none other than Red Bull's own straight-talking oracle, Dr. Helmut Marko. Speaking right before the Saudi Grand Prix, Marko didn't sugarcoat the situation. "If Max wants to win his 5th title, we need upgrades. Simple as that," he told Formel1.day. His tone was less paddock politics and more paddock panic, like a team principal spotting smoke during FP1. "That's our main mission, and indeed everyone's burning the midnight oil to make it happen," he added. "Every top-tier driver has an escape hatch, especially when the car starts acting like it's on a Sunday drive instead of a Grand Prix. That's no secret in the paddock." But according to Dr. Helmut Marko, while these exit clauses exist, each one is wired differently, just like the drivers themselves. They're not one-size-fits-all. Some are triggered by performance dips, others by internal politics, and a few are more secretive than Ferrari's strategy meetings. Last year, Mercedes boss Toto Wolff was throwing subtle winks Max's way, hoping to lure the Dutchman into the Silver Arrows garage for 2026. But fast forward to Melbourne, and that door seems to have slammed shut. Asked whether the lack of contracts for his current drivers hinted at space being made for Verstappen, Toto shut that speculation down with the precision of a DRS overtake. "Right now, that's not even on the radar," he said coolly. "My focus is firmly on these two, and George should be seeing a contract soon." Now, all that noise about Max jumping ship to Mercedes was built on a pretty big assumption that history will repeat itself, and the German outfit will dominate the 2026 regulation changes just like they did in 2014. But let's pump the brakes on that thought, because there are a couple of big reasons why that fantasy might be stuck in neutral. The first, bad blood, and not the mild kind. We're talking full throttle, engine overheating grudge levels dating back to the chaos of 2021. Remember Silverstone? Hamilton clipped Max, sent him flying into the barriers at terrifying speed, and still went on to win the race. Toto Wolff celebrated like it was Abu Dhabi 2014, and that moment burned itself into Verstappen's memory, and Christian Horner's too. The Horner-Verstappen camp didn't just see it as poor sportsmanship, they saw it as personal. But there's another factor tugging at the brakes. 2026 isn't 2014. Back then, Mercedes rewrote the game by spending like there was no cap in sight, reportedly splashing out 5 times more than Renault on their engine program. That gave them an unmatchable head start. Today, that kind of spending spree is off the table. The FIA has slammed down a regulatory budget cap on R&D and testing, leveling the playing field for every power unit manufacturer. And here's the kicker, nobody truly knows who's going to come out on top. Not Audi, not Honda, not Ferrari. Even the heavyweights are hedging their bets as the sport pivots toward a hybrid future where electrical energy energy recovery is just as crucial as the combustion grunt. It's a brave new world of experimental engines, and past performance is no longer a crystal ball. You can't look at Audi's endurance program or Mercedes' historical edge and predict dominance in this hybrid frontier. It's clear F1's learned a hard lesson from Mercedes' reign of terror between 2014 and 2021. That era of dominance turned races into predictable parades, and the sport is now desperate to keep things balanced. Verstappen gets it too. He knows better than to believe Red Bull will cruise through the next 3 years without serious threats. Even Adrian Newey, the mastermind behind so many winning machines, admitted next season's fastest car could belong to anyone. And let's not forget what Fernando Alonso's career taught us. Picking the next big team in F1 is like trying to guess which way the wind will blow at Spa. Even a two-time champ can get it wrong. For Max, jumping ship isn't just about speed, it's about leverage. Right now, he's the undisputed king at Red Bull. Anywhere else, Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, he'd have to share the throne. Those teams run with equal driver policies, meaning no automatic number one status. At Red Bull, Max is the sun everything orbits around. Elsewhere, he might just become another star in the constellation. But even if Max did decide to jump ship, he knows better than most that it's no golden ticket to continued dominance. Just ask Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz, two proven winners now wrestling with new setups, unfamiliar steering feel, and a whole different vibe in the garage. Swapping teams isn't just about logos on the overalls, it's a full mental reset. New car, new engineers, new coffee machine, and sometimes new problems. Lately, Ferrari have entered the chat. The latest whisper around the paddock suggests the Scuderia wouldn't mind having a four-time champ in red. When asked point-blank in the FIA press conference about swapping Milton Keynes for Maranello, Max gave the classic deflection smile and tried to shut the rumour mill down. "I'm happy at Red Bull," he said. "I'm just not too thrilled with the car right now." But that's the same for all of us. We always want more. No secrets there. Everyone's buzzing about Max Verstappen's so-called exit clause and whether he'll pull the ripcord during the summer break. But few have actually broken down how likely that really is. The truth, Verstappen isn't going to make a knee-jerk decision based on frustration alone. He'll only trigger that clause if he finds himself consistently outside the top three, say, stuck in fourth or worse with no path forward. And that's not some wild prediction. The last time Max wrapped up a season lower than third was way back in 2018, just his second full year driving for Red Bull. Since then, he's been a podium regular and title contender. What's more, the way McLaren, Ferrari and Mercedes are running their operations gives Max a quiet sense of optimism. All three have doubled down on treating their drivers equally. That's good news for Verstappen, because equal footing often leads to internal point stealing, as we've already seen play out at McLaren with Norris and Piastri trading blows. For now, Max seems to be living by a classic bit of racing wisdom: better the devil you know. In other words, sticking with Red Bull, even when the car's a bit twitchy, still looks like the smartest move in the long game. Because in Formula One, the unknowns don't just lurk around the corner, they sometimes crash right through it. Do you think Max Verstappen should leave Red Bull if their performance keeps slipping? And if so, would Ferrari really be the right move, or a massive mistake? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, goodbye for now.